In this video, we will implement a feature where if we have a quest with an defeat opponent objective, so basically a quest where you have to defeat some AI, we want that AI for it to be possible to scale that AI to be the strength of the user. So if we just take a given quest here, which I have on my user, and I put the strongest AI in there, we can go here and confirm that I can't. If I go try and beat this AI, I can't because it's way too strong. Should be. Yeah, I lose immediately. So basically we need to implement something so that that AI is scaled to be the same strength as me, or at least an option to do that. So how do we do that? I think we start in the objectives with invalidators, as we almost always do when working with quests. And let's see. Then we need to find the defeat opponent's objective. And we need to implement a new field here. Let's call it opponent scale to user. That should be pretty clear what that's about. And I actually think it's fine to make that a number between 0 and 1 because it's annoying to deal with booleans in the user interface. And it's only the content staff that will see these numbers. Let's just think. I think we also have a base attribute on these tasks for having attackers. It's called something like attacker. Yeah, here. Attacker field. So that's basically if the content staff set this, that means that the user will be attacked randomly by these given AIs. And we should probably implement it so that they can also be scaled to user. Boom. There we go. Now we have these two fields. Then the next step is hooking into the part of the travel where we actually initiate combat. Oh, and I have to think where it is that we do that. Let me just check. It's not in the combat router. It's probably in the quest router, I imagine. Let's see if we can. Isn't there some check rewards? Not that. Check location quest. This is the one. That's the one being called by the travel component. And basically this gets out some consequences. And right now we have consequences of type item or combat, and either one gets an ID. In the case of the item, it's the ID of the item, and in the case of combat, it's the ID of the opponent. I think we need to update this one to actually, let's think how we do this. I think the easiest thing, at least for now, is actually to just add another field here, which is optional, and it is a number for whether or not a scale should be returned. And then if we have a defeat opponent, we don't only return the ID of the opponent, we also return this opponent scale to user. So now if we go back here, our consequences is TypeScript messing up. Let's restart TypeScript again. I don't know why I have to restart TypeScript so much when I'm recording. Usually it's not that bad. Anyways, these consequences now have a scale parameter, and that one we will likely have to pass to the initiate combat function. I'm just thinking this one, does that also handle? Does it also handle these other attacks? Like right now we have the opponent, this one, opponent skill to use, but we also had that attacker Where did that come in? Not here apparently. Maybe it's down here in the quests. Yes. So if there's no current opponent, but we have any of our objectives that have attackers, then we create that opponent. And this one also needs the chance. What will that be then? Objective. Is this right? Let's see. This is a number. Is it just TypeScript being slow right now? There's opponent. Scale. This is why. Okay, and then next we need to go into this initiate combat. So that's down here where it basically says if we have an opponent, we need to initiate combat. And how do we do that? Probably, again, we need to pass in an extra parameter, which I think is fine. I think this is something we will likely use again. Otherwise, we can refactor at a later point if we need to, if we keep on adding more stuff. So here we do if the opponent has a scale parameter, true, otherwise false. So we convert it to a Boolean at this point. And then we need to go into that function and add our new parameter, which is a Boolean, an optional Boolean, because we don't want to go through the entire code base to add this and set it to false for everything. And then the last thing we need to do is actually do the scaling. So here we check if the users have been found, and I guess we can do it here. If requested scale the target user to the same level stats as attacker. We do if info optional. So if this Boolean is set, then first we set the level of the index 1 is the one being attacked and index 0 is the one attacking. So we set that equal to the attacker. And then we need to use the scale user thing. So we are doing this several places in the game already. So in libs profile, we have this method, which basically scales the user stats to the amount of experience points that you would have at a given level. So if a given AI has very high ninjutsu, it would just scale down, but he would still have higher ninjutsu. Not that he would get the same stats. So scale user stats of users 1. I guess we had to import this one. Quick fix. Okay. Import from libs profile, was it? Did I find it? Yes. So we scale user stats. And why is it complaining? Cannot find scale user stats. But it did. Okay. So let's test it out. First, we need to go and edit the quest. And let's see if these new fields that we added here are actually popping up. So we go to the defeat opponent down here, and we have a opponent scale to user. Let's try setting that to 1. So now it should scale it. We'll go to travel. And let's try beating it again. That should be possible now because it's scaled to my level. And at least I can damage it now, which I couldn't before. So I think this is working. Otherwise I would not be doing any damage and I would be dead. So it seems to work. Perfect. And I'm pretty sure the other one for random attacks is working as well, since it's going through the same mechanism. So that should be all good. I will, let's just do it now. Go through what we did. We added this. We added this consequence. We added the scale user to the initiate combat method. That looks right. We added the scale for random attackers. We passed it to the initiate combat. And we added these two fields to our schemas. So that looks good. New feature, scale quest AI to user low. And then that should be live in 1 to 3 minutes. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next video. Thank you.